Hello and welcome back to my humble show. I am your host for tonight and every other night, the Articulate Thinker, hopefully, here to bring you art articles and articulation straight from Articulation Station. So be sure to like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. Don't forget to turn on those bell notifications while you're at it. I'm very tired and my allergies are bothering me at the moment. But I want to cover this. It happened a couple of days ago, but because I just finished recording a show about the fires in Maui, which will be uploaded any moment now, I thought that I would go ahead and move right on to this fire, this explosion from outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I believe I have some friends in that area. Alright, so here is a tweet, a post. A home explosion outside of Pittsburgh resulted in at least one fatality. Officials say several people remain unaccounted for. Multiple homes caught fire and dozens of nearby structures were damaged, with authorities still searching through the debris. Jacqueline Lee TV reports, and this is a clip from the 12th. So like I said a couple of days ago, there is more information about this now, more tragic information. But for starters, I'll play this in case you haven't seen this. It hasn't made its rounds quite as much as some of the other news between the fires and the latest indictment of Donald Trump. Well, this kind of got lost in the shuffle, but it's kind of strange. Let me play this clip, and then I'll play an even more strange clip.
A deadly and fiery home explosion near Pittsburgh this morning. At least one person is dead, several others unaccounted for. Flames from the blast destroying or damaging nearby homes. Emergency responders searching the rubble tonight for survivors. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Tonight, a fatal home explosion rocking this Pittsburgh suburb, flattening buildings and scattering debris across the neighborhood.
This is the worst I've seen in 47 years, just due to the amount of damage.
Authorities in Plum, Pennsylvania, responding to reports of the blast just before 10:30 a.m. local time.
We got a report of multiple people buried under debris. Have at least one surviving victim. All units requesting fire department step up.
Firefighters arriving on scene to find 3 homes engulfed in flames and dozens of nearby structures damaged. Late today, authorities confirming at least one person was killed in the incident. 3 others rushed to the hospital for treatment, one in critical condition. Officials say there are several others still unaccounted for.
I heard this boom. It was so loud that it woke me up. I thought it was thunder from the storm last night. I was shaking. It scared me so bad.
The blast so loud it could be heard at this youth baseball game, roughly a mile away.
What the hell was that?
When officials say the fire from the blast has been contained and there is no further risk to the area, the cause of the home explosion is under investigation. Whit.
All right, Jacqueline Lee reporting for us tonight. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. And on to this. Be prepared. Plum explosion. Ring doorbell footage was given to us of the devastating Rustic Ridge Drive explosion this morning in Plum. Folks on this block tell me the heavy damage is their last concern. They're only worried about their neighbors impacted. Okay, so one of 2 tweets. And I'll read the rest of that after I play this 16-second clip from this Ring doorbell in the neighborhood. This tweeted out by Tori Yorgi, WTAE reporter. I will play that again, just in case you missed it. I was fixing it to full screen as the explosion occurred, but one more time. Here you go. So you can see debris flying into this yard all the way over here, even though the explosion happened all the way over there. And that's not just any explosion, that's a big explosion. that house was completely eviscerated. So what exactly caused it? Well, in one of the updated articles that I'm going to read through momentarily, I hope to find out because I haven't seen the latest news on this. I just happened to see all this yesterday when it was still unknown what the cause was. I thought maybe some kind of gas leak or something, but it seemed like everything looked okay in the area. That's what the city was reporting, at least as of yesterday. But maybe they have figured something else out. One more time. It looks like a missile strike of some sort. Honestly. Not that that's what it was. So far, Allegheny County Emergency Services say one person has died, several are unaccounted for. They would not give an exact number. 3 people were taken to the hospital. One of those people are critical, hoping to be briefed, updated again once storm settles. Update, 4 people have died, says Tori. 1 person is still unaccounted for, per Plum Borough officials. Of the 3 sent to the hospital earlier, 2 have been discharged. 1 is still critical. They have suspended operations for the night due to weather, darkness, and safety. A couple of photos from the neighborhood in the aftermath. Guess they had a storm. Unfortunately, there was no calm before the storm. But there were multiple deaths reported by August 12th as well. So yes, I'm a little bit late to this. But yeah, just thought you might find it interesting because I know I did. Sadly. Sad but true. Update. Allegheny County officials confirm 1 child and 4 adults died in the Plum house explosion yesterday morning on Rustic Ridge Drive. 1 person remains critical in the hospital. More on my most recent post. I guess I could pull up this Twitter account, this X account, and see if there's anything more, but I don't want to have to scroll to find it. So yeah, moving on to the articles. And I will try to articulate to the best of my ability without spending too much time on this. I just wanted to make you aware of it in case you hadn't heard about it or seen about it. Death toll rises to 5 after explosion in Pittsburgh that destroyed 3 homes sitting on top of an abandoned mine. 4 adults and 1 child lost lives in blast. 5 people were found dead after a house explosion in western Pennsylvania that destroyed 3 structures and damaged at least a dozen others. Footage of the explosion circulating online shows a home exploding and sending debris flying. Plum Borough Police Chief Lanny Conley said the bodies of 4 adults and 1 minor were recovered. This is an article from Daily Mail. Very extensive. It's not the most recent, so I might just scroll through and show you the images, some of which you've already seen. I'll pull up a different article, a more recent article, and if anything is missed in it, I'll come back to this and see if it fills us in. There you see some of the debris still smoking. Law enforcement. So yes, multiple houses in the area damaged severely. I guess I could play this video.
If you are type 2 and take metformin,
Well, I don't, and I'm not. So sorry about the ad. There you have it. Littered all over the ground. And I'm not sure where exactly the bodies were found or the quality of them. But I can only imagine. Looking like a war zone. Wow. Cars eviscerated too. Incinerated. Alright, you get the point. You get the picture. It's tough to look at, but these things happen, I suppose. Gas and electric services was shut off as a precaution, and officials said Sunday a plan was in place to begin restoring service with electric power expected to be returned to all but a few residences, officials said. Governor Josh Shapiro said he and the First Lady were praying for the families affected and promised them that as you rebuild, we will have your back. Emergency services were called to Rustic Ridge Drive and Brooksdale Drive at about 10:23 a.m. on Saturday morning and discovered people trapped under debris, while 2 others were engulfed by the flames, police said. My cat is distracting me here. He wants to be part of the show. Buddy, you don't need to see this. This is Charlie, by the way. There he is. Get a good look. Alright. That's enough. Or not. There we are. Alright, so I'll move on to the more recent article from CBS News. Plum house explosion, cause of deadly blast that killed 5, including a child, unknown. So, still unknown. Well, that's a bummer. I imagine all of the other neighbors in the neighborhood are terrified at this point that they could be next, since there seems to be an epidemic of exploding houses on the loose. Or something like that. I don't know. This makes you wonder, though. Like, I guess they could have been doing something explosive within the house. Something potentially illegal. But I don't see that. I mean, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you think, what you know. I'm not an expert on these sorts of things, but apparently even the experts don't know. Cleanup continued Monday after heartache hit the Plum Bureau neighborhood when a normal morning took a terrifying turn as a home in the Rustic Ridge community exploded. 5 killed in deadly blast. 5 people were killed. 3 nearby homes were destroyed, and a dozen other homes were damaged in the blast on Saturday. Those 5 victims were recovered from the scene of the explosions, consisting of 4 adults and 1 child. The medical examiner's office has yet to release the identities of the victims. Kevin Sabania was one of the 5 killed in a house explosion in Plum. Wait a second. Those 5 victims were recovered from the scene of the explosions, consisting of 4 adults and 1 child. The medical examiner's office has yet to release the identities of the victims, but at least some of the victims are known already. Obviously, that's why there is an image here with one of them listed. So does that mean his wife survived? Emily Sabania and her dad, Kevin Sabania, was one of the 5 killed. She said he was always one to lend a hand whenever anyone needed help without ever expecting anything in return. She believed her dad was most likely doing just that when he died. So this, could be his daughter, actually. And my apologies if I'm wrong about that. It doesn't really specify, but it's talking about his daughter now. She apparently verified that this was her dad who died, but it doesn't say that that's her in the image. The blast also killed 38-year-old Casey Clontz and his 12-year-old son, Keegan, who is the minor. The two loved hunting and fishing, and the family said the 12-year-old was his father's shadow. There you see them. I'm not sure why the photos are blurry. You can thank CBS News for that. This is certainly a sad day and a sad time, not just for the folks in Plum, but all the folks in the community and in this region. Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald said. Another blurry photo there. The blast sent shockwaves through the area, with nearby windows and doors blown off when the home along Rustic Ridge Drive exploded. It didn't take long before the two homes on both sides also caught fire. But the blast, of course, shattered the windows out of those houses. Especially this one over here. It looks absolutely covered in debris, putting it lightly. Plum Bureau Police Chief, is it Borough or Bureau? Plum Borough Police Chief Lanny Conley said 3 other people were taken to the hospital to be treated for injuries. 2 of those individuals have been released from the hospital, while 1 remains in critical condition. Chief Conley said that 57 firefighters were treated at the scene for minor injuries. People's Gas President Michael Hewer said over the weekend that crews immediately began checking the area for leakage, including smell checks and checks underground and in the air, and said that early reports show that the system was operating as designed. Following the explosion, utilities were shut off due to safety concerns, but electricity has been restored to all but the immediate area surrounding the blast. Any resident who has questions about gas service in the neighborhood can find updates here. On Sunday night, an officer monitoring the site noticed that a hotspot had begun smoking. Fire crews arrived and spent an hour spraying down the debris. Alright, someone else said in a thread here, my kids are okay and my children are alright and my wife is okay. We'll be fine. I'll be fine because a lot of people lost a lot more. Andy Zeroli's home has been deemed condemned. No word of it or if it will need to come down. He's just grateful to have his family. So this is first-hand information here. I could pull this up on X. A few images. I can scroll through these. I'm not sure exactly what direction from the main house this house was, but I guess they're counting their blessings. Around 10 p.m. Sunday, we noticed the officer monitoring the site jump onto the rubble with his flashlight. We then saw smoke coming from the debris. Fire crews pulled up and spent an hour hosing it down. So I wonder if they think there's a lead in that. Oh, scrolling back up here, there's additional portions of this thread. More photos. In the aforementioned video, the Ring doorbell video. So this is Lauren Linder's Twitter account. Not one of the neighbors, I guess, a reporter. And I won't click on those. All right. As for the rest of this article, investigation underway. The Allegheny County Fire Marshal's office is leading the investigation into the cause and origin of the fire and explosion, and the process is expected to take some time. Allegheny County officials say the investigation could take months or even years possibly. Wow. Allegheny county officials say that the investigation could take months or years. Yes, I already read that. Again, my cat is distracting me. This investigation may take months, if not years, so please keep that in mind. It's a slow process, Allegheny County Emergency Service Deputy Director Steve Imberlina said. It's released late Monday. The county said the home where the explosion happened was having hot water tank issues. The tank was in the basement. So, a hot water tank could have caused this? The ACFM will investigate that information along with any and all other possibilities during their process that may explain what occurred, the release said. Crews spent Monday going through the rubble. Heavy equipment went through the destroyed houses before the rain moved in. Crews with the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, Allegheny County offices, and utility crews investigated. In the meantime, we are bringing all of our resources to help, or to bear to help, the Allegheny County Fire Marshal, People's Gas President Mike Hewer said. To this point, there are holds on the 3 destroyed properties. This means nothing will be done to them, and any demolition would have to be approved by the Bureau. Yeah, okay. Helping the helpers. Community outreach, response, donation of food and water. The usual. Luckily, well, I don't want to say luckily, but it's not one of those situations in which an entire community, like in the case of Maui, is destroyed, and then you have to have outreach from the outside coming in to help out. This is a matter of multiple homes, which obviously is still devastating, not to take anything away from it, but not a fire ripping through an entire neighborhood or anything like that. Plum Borough School District. Some other statements. History of house explosions in Plum. This is not the first time a home has exploded in Plum Borough. Just last year in April, a home on Hialeah Drive was leveled. In 2008, less than half a mile away, another home exploded on Mardi Gras Drive. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, the explosion in 2008 was caused after a 2-inch gas line was hit in 2003. So it took it 5 years to explode? Investigators determined that it eventually failed after it corroded. There also was another explosion in 1996 where natural gas was determined to be the cause. That is scary. We have some natural gas here. That doesn't make me want to go to sleep. The Renton Volunteer Fire Department remains open to provide resources and supplies. Yeah, all that good stuff. Okay, so yes. Yes, that is it for me for now. Until the next show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Keep in touch, keep in tune. New content is coming soon. My condolences. Peace.